Big ideas start with a spark. At Tassi's, we use that spark to ignite the fire in ourselves and our kids. So with the trust we build and the knowledge we share, we can grow together and stand tall, creating opportunities to advance in business while setting an example for the next generation. Whether you are starting fresh in Portugal or expanding globally, we're here to support each other. This is more than a network. We are a community that sets the examples for the leaders of tomorrow.
Hi, Kelly. So, as an EdTech consultant, how do you think AI will be implemented in the future in not just secondary schools, but also in younger generations?
Yeah, I think the power of AI should be used as a tool, right? As any tool, we've introduced calculators into classrooms and, math tests, but they're not always used. So just like any other tool that's being integrated into a classroom setting that's, traditionally run on pencil and paper, I think it's important that, a lot of people are worried about screen time these days. And is there a balance between what students are doing on the screen and off the screen, as opposed to what they're doing with their minds and without their minds? So what are we automating as our thought process, and what are we automating with our hands and our physical
100%.
objects? Yeah.
So, with that, what excites you about AI, especially as it's very, I would say, in the last couple years, integrating into schools and into people's day-to-day lives? What excites you the most?
Yeah, I would say even on a shorter term, like not even over the last few years, it's been a little bit scary. I think we've seen a lot of bans and a lot of fear around it. But I think more recently, we see a lot of evidence-driven decisions being made around what are the students' engagement and the motivation being used. How are we not just like micromanaging their tasks and how they're, getting work done, but also how are they showing that outcome through that output, like not just asking for a better prompt or improving their prompts, but using multiple tools and using all of these devices that are going to enable them to build a better future for themselves. I think what is possible is what we still don't know. And like we've heard in the panel today as well, there's a lot of examples of kids that are doing amazing things, and we just kind of need to get out of their way and let them do that.
100%. And so, with that, what do you think traditional school systems, like traditional Western school systems, how do you think they are either falling behind or keeping up with the times with using AI and allowing students to flourish?
Yeah, I'll start with falling behind first. I think the standardization is problematic because it takes so long to integrate new ideas, new tools. A teacher will find a shiny tool that is working really well to make their work more efficient, but how long does that take to get into the classroom for them to use? Is it then outdated by the time the school buys it, and so on? So I see a lot of those kind of friction points, and I think if schools, moving into what's possible, we're able to roll these out faster and to see these feedback loops, put kids at the panel like we are here today and talking about what's possible or what do I need more, what's not working, are the parents involved in the conversation? And I think bringing everyone together at that table to have that conversation is going to make this it's going to make a brighter future for all of the students.
And how do you think AI regulation, how far should it go? To what extent should we use it? I know that in schools we use a lot of AI checkers, and I find that my work that I did myself 100% is getting flagged as AI, and it's very frustrating. But you can also have AI bots that create something that is flagged as 100% AI, human written. So how do you think schools and families and job opportunities should be incorporating AI as a regulatory, like checking and ensuring the authenticity of the person?
Yeah, it pains me to hear those stories because my students have told me the same as a learning coach and using AI so much. And I think it's really confusing just in general. It's not only confusing for young people, but it's confusing for everyone who's being, we're kind of being pushed this technology down our throats super fast, and everything's evolving much faster than our brains can wrap our heads around it, right? So it's not a fear, and I think everyone should be speaking up, right? That's why we should all be talking about this together. And the students are like, but I did this myself. And the parents are like, I know you did because I know you as a writer and I know you as a learner. And if we really have that kind of self-direction for the students to be able to be more, have more agency around their learning, and to say, this is when I should be using AI and this is when I shouldn't be using AI. I recently spoke with my student about this topic, and he said, I would recommend my friends to use it, but don't outsource your thinking, because it's not going to be effective, and it's much harder to go back than it is to
100%.
keep that moving forward.
And my last question on that topic is, what advice would you give to educators and also parents who are navigating this time when students are learning how to use AI, when to use it, and just advice in general for educators as they're moving forward through this time period?
Yeah, I think as a past educator myself in the classroom for many years in many countries, I think it's really hard. It's the hardest role in the world. The teachers have different hearts than most people, and I think it's just going to be a challenge to see what is going to be the best solution for students. We don't have the answers. Teachers don't have the answers. The administration, the answers aren't there. But I think if we keep an open mind and keep more, I like to say, an experimental mindset. So if we want to try something, maybe we try it with a focus group of students, try it with our whole class, and see what's really working to help them improve, right? What's the goal from using technology? Not
Yes, and
let's
check.
just use technology because it's cool and shiny and
100%.
kids will have more fun, but what are we trying to improve? Are we trying to improve a skill or some knowledge that we want to use it for? And I think if we just peel back the layer about, like, what's the goal? What are we trying to achieve? And then seeing what tools can come in as a partner in learning, not just as the doer itself.
Completely agree. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Abby.